Hey, welcome. Today we're going to talk about something pretty profound, a philosophy for living a life that is authentically, truly yours. So let's just dive right in.
You know that feeling, right? That sense that you're just going through the motions, almost like you're half asleep, watching your own life like it's a movie on a screen. Well, this philosophy we're exploring suggests that for a lot of us, that's exactly what's happening. Our daily life is this kind of performance, and it's totally disconnected from who we really are inside.
So first up, let's really dig into this gap, this space between our inner self and the person we show to the world. We can call this the unlived life.
This quote, wow, it just gets right to the heart of the problem, doesn't it? The idea here is that we all have this true center, our being, but we spend our lives out on the edge, on the circumference, a life of doing this and having that. And it's this distance, this gap between our actions and our very core, that's the real source of all that inner turmoil and anxiety.
And you can really see the difference here. These are two completely different ways of living. Out on the circumference, we're all about the external world, right? We're just reacting to what society expects of us. But at the center, well, life is about being. It's about responding from a place that's real and authentic, without constantly needing that thumbs up from everyone else.
Okay, so if that's the problem, what's the solution? Well, this philosophy offers a pretty radical vision for a whole new way of being, one that's much more integrated.
And this brings us to this amazing core idea, Zorba the Buddha. The concept here is that you don't have to choose between the material world and the spiritual world. The whole point is to be both, to enjoy life with all the passion and fire of Zorba the Greek, but to do it with the quiet inner awareness of a Buddha. You don't have to discard anything. You can have it all.
Now, these aren't meant to be some kind of strict, rigid rules. It's better to think of them as guideposts or friendly reminders. For instance, never obey a command unless it comes from within you. I mean, that's such a powerful call to start listening to your own inner truth, your own gut feeling. And life is now and here is just this gentle nudge to stop living in yesterday or worrying about tomorrow.
But of course, it's not that simple. There's a major roadblock on this path, and it's something that lives inside every single one of us, the ego. So, according to this way of thinking, the ego isn't the real you, not at all. It's a false identity, a kind of persona that's been built up from all the expectations and rules that society has piled on us since we were born. It's almost like a suit of clothes that hides our true being, creating this barrier that keeps us from our own center.
But it's important to look at the other side of the coin. Critics like Matthias Pohm argue that our ego is completely based on how other people see us, an external perception ego. And from that perspective, as long as we're living in a society with other people, this sense of self is pretty much inescapable. It's a really important point that maybe the ego isn't something to destroy, but just a fundamental part of being human and social.
All right, so enough with the big ideas. Let's get practical. How does a person actually start this journey inward? Well, this philosophy is all about experimenting, and it offers a really rich toolkit for self-discovery.
Take this collection, for example. It's got 112 different meditation techniques, and the idea isn't to be super serious or disciplined about it, it's to play with them. The advice is to try a technique for a few days, see if it clicks, and if it does, go deeper. It's literally a set of keys, and the promise is that somewhere in there is the one that will unlock your own inner door.
In the range of these tools is just vast. You've got meditations focused on your breath, techniques for paying better attention, even these fascinating stop techniques where you just freeze in the middle of an action to break out of your autopilot habits. There's something for everyone, really. The variety means there's an approach that can work for just about any personality type.
So after all this, what's the ultimate goal? What's the point of the whole journey? It's all about coming back to yourself, returning to a state of being where you are living fully, completely, on your own terms, from your own center. The fancy term for this is self-actualization, and it just means that moment when you feel your potential has finally become real. You were born a seed, and now you've blossomed. The psychologist Abraham Maslow said this leads to peak experiences, a state of just deep, deep contentment, where you no longer wish for anything to be different than it is.
And this is the most important point of all. This whole path isn't about becoming like someone else. Not a Buddha, not a Zorba, not anyone. It's about discovering the ideal that is already inside you. They say the greatest teachers don't create followers, they create other masters, because they just keep throwing you back on yourself.
So, that leaves us with one final question to just sit with.
If you really truly dropped all the masks, all the social conditioning, all the different roles you play every single day, who would be left standing there? The journey to find out, well, that might just be the most authentic one we can ever take.